Hello everyone, my name is Sandy Mackay. Thank you for coming to the video today. I am a professional teacher on italki, and over the years that I've been teaching, I have taught many students in the various English language testing systems that are required to go and study in other countries. The two main ones being IELTS and TOEFL. Now, this video today is about preparing for TOEFL. If you're going to study in America, you might be particularly interested in getting the TOEFL certification. This used to be much more in line with just going to America, actually, but these days, most universities in all countries will accept either TOEFL or IELTS. But it's kind of got a bit traditional that if you're going to go to America, then take the TOEFL, because it's maybe a little bit more geared towards the American accent type English speaking. Whereas if you're going to one of the other countries, such as UK, Australia, New Zealand, etc., take the IELTS. Anyway, as I say, today's video is about preparing for the TOEFL, and I get many questions from students about things like, how do I prepare? How long will it take me to prepare? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn? Are there certain aspects, tricks, or other areas that will help me get through the TOEFL test with the score that I want? So if you're interested and you want to know all this information, then this is the video for you. Please keep watching. One of the first questions I often get asked when I've got a new student and they're studying for TOEFL or for IELTS or one of the other English level testing systems is, how long do I think it will take them to prepare for the test? Well, let me just clarify this now, that the answer to that is where you are currently when you start the preparation. Let me say, and be quite harsh right from the beginning here, if you are less than an intermediate English level, then you shouldn't be considering taking one of these level tests at the moment if it's critical to your ambitions. You need to get your general English into an aspect that's at least in the intermediate brackets. In the CFR scale, that is B1 and B2. So that's where you need to be. The next factor that we've got to consider is actually the target that you're aiming at. Are you aiming for 100 plus, 90 plus, or 80 plus maybe? If you're aiming for 100 plus, I've never actually come across any institution that asks for that high a standard, but many of my students have indeed gone well over 100 plus. No problem at all, but you have to have a very high starting level. You've got to be upper intermediate or into slightly advanced levels to hopefully achieve that in a given scale of time. 80 plus is where a lot of the universities sit. They want the students to be at that area, and 90 plus also. So knowing where you want to aim at and knowing where your current level is critical in assessing how long it's going to take you to get to the level that you want to be at. So when you start considering taking TOEFL, start by making a list of the institutions, universities, etc. that you would be interested in attending, and then list them and list their exact entry requirements, and then you have a good idea of the starting point and what you're aiming at. There are still a lot of institutions out there that don't require either TOEFL or IELTS actually, and they would much prefer the student to attend some type of course, admission course, to assist them with their English abilities before they join the institution. But this can also be pretty expensive, and if they offer the TOEFL IELTS alternative, then you would probably be better minded to do that than take the expense of the course that they're offering. Another question I'm asked fairly regularly actually is when people are really ambitious, will they be prepared in 2 weeks to take the TOEFL? If that's all the time you have and you have a good level of English, then it can be achieved. Yes, it can be achieved. It's not ideal because then if you've only allowed yourself 2 weeks and you're working up to a 2-week framework, it can put a lot of additional stress on you. But if you work hard and you're dedicated to put the hours in every day to get prepared, then yes, it can be done. Once again, think about how can you do it yourself or do you need assistance? If you're a minimum level of lower intermediate, that's B1, then I'm going to recommend that you would not try to do this in 2 weeks. You would try to do it maybe in 1 month, because then we can get you up to the borderline between B1 and B2, and you're going to that should give you ample time to work through everything and be prepared for the TOEFL test. Once again, in all these instances again, of course, depending upon your starting level, depends upon your ending level as well. So from B1 to achieve 80 plus to 90 plus would be excellent. And from B1 level to get up to the 90 plus level, hey, you're doing very, very well, by the way, and something to be proud of there. So let's be realistic. Yet another question. Can I prepare myself? Absolutely, yes, you can. Why not? But you will not benefit from feedback on your progress, and you won't get the feedback from your speaking, etc., online either. So I'm not saying anything against it. A lot of people do it very, very successfully, and the best of luck if that's the way you choose. In my experience, students would take a couple of lessons a week, and we're doing the speaking and the listening, etc., each week, and running through some test procedures, and that they benefit the most because they're getting feedback, and they tend to achieve better results overall. But yes, you can, by all means. Do you need a strategy? Absolutely. Once again, you need to have a strategy for each of the elements, and there's various strategies that people employ. I know what works best for me and my students, but not everybody can use the same strategy because some people have a different way of thinking. Having a positive strategy for each element of the test is essential, and using your strategies improve as you practice and prepare for the test itself. Continuous practice creates ability and confidence, which both are essential elements. You need to be working towards these and using your strategies to master every aspect of the test itself. Is the TOEFL test difficult? Well, the TOEFL test does exactly what it is designed for. The test will fully identify your English ability, and it does it very well. If you have a reasonable level at the start, then you devote yourself to practicing and getting ready for the various elements, and you work on your strategy, then no, it's not difficult. It's just something to prove that you're at the ability you're at, and something that you can actually enjoy doing. Do I have any recommendations? Yes, I sure do. I would like you to, if you're taking the TOEFL test, to give it much consideration and the best way that you can approach it and how you can do it. I get immense satisfaction from seeing successful students get through this test and get on their way to whatever their futures hold for them. Now, considering this test costs money and many people have to take it repetitive times, it can become very, very expensive. So my top recommendation is to use an experienced tutor for guidance. I have mentored more than 100 students through the test in the last few months. Knowing I have been an important part of their goals and ambitions, as I said, gives me great satisfaction. So if you want to be successful and you want to work and get it right next time you take the test, then why not contact me soon? I would love to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching.